Hey, welcome in.
Welcome to the Arrowhead Addict podcast.
We are here coming to you live. Let me tell you, the dopamine, it's flowing.
I am damn excited. Damn excited.
We are so excited to be joining you guys tonight.
Oh!
Well, how you doing, man? Patrick.
Will Sterling.
Yeah.
Super Bowl champion, two-time Pro Bowler, and Trent Green. Trent Green, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
And he picked it up! He picked it up! He's gonna score! And we'll see you next week, but until then, as always, go Chiefs.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Kingdom's Queens podcast. We are officially 57 days away from NFL kickoff. And about 13 days away from Chiefs training camp, which is so exciting. Girl, I can smell football in the air. It is here. We have arrived. We are so close to it. We're so excited to be with you guys tonight. We took a few weeks off just because football off season, it's pretty dead. So we've been in the thick of not much to talk about, but we have found some topics to talk about tonight. So we're excited to be with you guys. I'm your host, Lexi.
Hey, y'all, what's up? I am Jodi. Oh my God. It's like football's here, but it's not.
It's so close. It's so close.
It's like here, but it's not.
I know.
And that's the most exciting part about all of it. Oh my goodness gracious. Sorry, my phone just completely glitched on me. So that's fun. Anyway,
we're both
very
having
excited to be back tonight. When I tell you though, it feels like the last 2 weeks have really felt like 3 days. I'm like, oh, we haven't been live in 2 weeks. And I'm like, are we sure? Yeah, definitely has been at least 2
I know.
Weeks. Life has been very busy and very much chaotic, but it is really good to be back. And
life has been very busy.
I know that we have not I know that there's not been much going on in the football world, but I mean, like you said, there have been some things that have been happening lately that we'll talk about. And we got something super fun for y'all. Y'all know we like to keep it festive and we like to be different. We do have some fun little rankings later happening too. So that is the great part. Sorry, can you tell I'm trying to stall because I'm trying to find something real quick and I'm struggling. I'm struggling to find it. But no, so before we get into any of this, I did not listen to the Kay Adams podcast. So I know Patrick Mahomes was just on there the other day, and I'm sure y'all have all been on social media and seeing all of the rage and outrage and everything that has been coming from this Kay Adams show. Can you I seen a few trinkets. I haven't had a chance to sit down and actually listen to it yet, but can you just give some of the tea of what happened?
Yeah, so Patrick, basically the main takeaway I came away from that with was Patrick said there was a lot of pressure on them last season for the three-peat, right? And understandably so, that's what everyone was focused on. And right. I think even we felt it as fans in a way of it was kind of exhausting every single week of just being on social media and all of it's the refs carrying you, it's this and that and the other, and your team doesn't look the same even though they're winning games, but they're winning in weird ways and all that kind of stuff, right? And we were winning in weird ways. It was unprecedented, whatever. But I think, what he said, he's we just forgot how to have fun with it. It was just pressure every week. It was just going into the game, figuring out a way to win, not making the fancy plays, not doing anything crazy, just getting a gritty win and doing that. And that's why I think our offense specifically was not that fun to watch last season. And I think
it was tough.
I mean, I think we can all agree on that. It wasn't that fun to watch. There wasn't anything spectacular happening. Every now and then there was. I mean, there were some great plays, of course, but
yeah.
I think overall, I think everyone felt the pressure, from fans to the players to the everything.
Media.
So Patrick said his main goal this next season is just to have fun, just get back to that backyard football, get back to having fun with your offense, and not have the pressure of trying to make history. And I think what's unfortunate is, they were trying to make history last season and they got to the big game. But I think that's why in the big game, it just collapsed, because the Eagles were there to have fun and to spoil our fun. They were there to be the spoilers, right?
Yeah.
And the Chiefs were there to try to make history. And the Eagles were there for a different purpose. And they got the best of us. And it just wasn't good. We all know how that ended up. So don't have to dwell on that too much. But I do think Patrick, our offense, I think they all feel re-inspired to go in and have a great season and show everyone why they are the Chiefs, remind everyone who they are. I'm really looking forward to it. So I think that was a great little preseason interview he had with Kay Adams the other day, just to kind of get us back in that mode of being excited of what's to come. And I'm looking forward to it. I think if everyone can stay healthy, I think our O-line additions, kind of just what we've seen going on this offseason, I think what we've heard too in all their mini camp interviews and whatnot, it's been every single person has been yeah, it left a bad taste in our mouth and we're so freaking ready to get back on the field. Every single one of them is nah, that fucking sucked. Sorry, excuse my language. That sucked.
I'm a customer.
Yeah. And so
I agree, 100%.
That's how they all feel, and I can't wait for the get back.
So I haven't had a chance to listen to the interview yet, but those are just some of the things that I took away. I don't think people realize, okay, y'all remember the first season of quarterback, right? When Patrick Mahomes was on there and he was the guy, right? And remember when you watch that, or when you go through and watch the season, remember how Patrick was kind of talking about how he has a photographic memory and he doesn't forget anything. And when he's watching film and watching plays and things of that nature, he writes things down multiple times. And that's also what helps with his photographic memory.
Yeah.
I need people to realize that when they are talking crap about him or just whatever it is they're doing, Patrick never forgets this. Not only does he not forget this, he has his trainer, his number one ace boon coon, Bobby Stroop. Bobby is also going to remember all of these things. So that's a whole nother conversation. But Bobby is also going to remember all of these things and let Patrick know, hey, I know you ain't. But we all know Patrick got a burner account on Twitter. But we know that he's seeing and hearing all of the talk in the gap. So I will say the one thing that I took away quickly from the interview was, Patrick heard y'all chirping. He heard y'all talking. And he also said, man, it ain't no point in talking. Let's just get on the field. Patrick said that. So I want everyone to remember that they can continue to talk as much as they want.
Yeah.
But let me tell you one thing about QB1. He don't forget nothing.
And let it be known, like you said, his trainer, Bobby Stroop, is not going to let it be forgotten. So,
and that's a whole nother conversation. So I'm not sure if you guys have been on Twitter this week, but Bobby Stroop, who has now deleted all of his tweets, and that's really sad because I'm sure Pat was all right, I'm sure he was come on, man. That we don't need that. Yeah. So a previous radio host who used to be on Kansas City Sports Radio, but he got fired for talking crap about Andy Reid. If you don't know, go look up the history on that. Kevin Keitzman.
And that goes a while back. Kevin Keitzman?
Keitzman?
Yeah. Keitzman.
Whoever he is.
Yeah.
Let me tell y'all why Bobby is my favorite person to follow on Twitter. This man was reading him for filth for hours. And I was like, yeah, Bobby. Yeah, Bobby, because one thing we're not going to do is disrespect three-time Super Bowl champion Patrick Mahomes. Telling him that he's out of shape and he's this and that and a third and blah, 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 blah. What do you expect him to look like? What do you expect Patrick Mahomes to look like? And to try to compare him to someone like a Tom Brady, hey, let's be realistic here. None of these quarterbacks all have the same dad bod. Even if we were to go back and look at the millennials, I kind of like to break the quarterbacks up Gen Z millennials, the old school, the back of the day, right? Even if you were to go back and look at all of the millennial quarterbacks, so well, I guess Tom Brady falls in both generations, which is crazy. But even if you look at Ben Roethlisberger or Aaron Rodgers, who also falls in both generations.
Oh, should we?
If you look at what their bodies look like today and try to compare that to Patrick Mahomes and the success that they had, Patrick has had more success than all of them.
Real quick, should we say what? I don't think we've spoken about this, but should we say what Ben Roethlisberger said last week? Is that Patrick Mahomes is now exiting his prime?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Ben Roethlisberger himself said that Patrick Mahomes is now exiting his prime. His time is over. And it's, yeah. So I think everything has been noted.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, that was a bad one. Now,
that's what.
Say what you want about. There's so much to say about Ben Roethlisberger that I don't even want to get into.
Yeah.
But,
zero comments.
The Chiefs, I will say the Chiefs in the Patrick Mahomes era absolutely own the Steelers. Like, we have not lost to them. We've beaten them 4 or 5 times, and it's been like a beating. It's never a close game. Patrick Mahomes can dissect that defense very well. So I don't know if it's a little bit personal for Ben on that aspect, but and because we also sent him into retirement. We also sent him into the retirement after that wild card game. Where we absolutely killed them. Yeah. So I do think it probably is a little bit personal. But, you know, I just had this gut feeling come over me today of like, I just think Patrick Mahomes has absolutely heard enough. He's heard enough throughout this entire offseason. It's been very loud from multiple media outlets. I can't even get started on where I don't even know. But it's been very loud, and that it's over for the Chiefs, and that's it, and that was their breaking point, and whatever. And I just have this feeling that he is about to have as long as, God willing, knock on wood, pray, offense stays healthy. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to have himself maybe one of the best seasons a quarterback has ever had.
I think people need to remember what
I think he's going to remind everyone who he is.
Last time we lost the Super Bowl.
Right. 2022.
So,
2022
yeah,
happened.
I think people should remember what happened last time we lost the Super Bowl. I do want to just say that, like, I've put my Patrick Mahomes MVP bets in. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy. But I put my bets in May. So if that tells you anything, like, let the people keep talking. That's all I'm gonna say. Let the people keep talking. Let's go ahead. It's only July, June, May, June, July. It's only July.
Let them chirp.
So let the people keep talking. Like, I love that. Y'all keep
I actually
talking.
love it. I actually hope no one stops, and I hope the disrespect doesn't stop. Keep disrespecting them, please.
Man. So let's kind of get into some of the NFL news that is happening. Yeah. I rarely open up with Patrick Mahomes info, but you know, I just felt like, hey, why not? Why not? Yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
It's that time of year. It's that time of year.
So today there was an article that was posted. Oh God, I don't even remember who posted the article. I think it was Ari. It was either him. Was it Ari or was it Adam? Anyway, it was either one of them. I'm not really 100% sure. They posted an article today, and they spoke about how the NFLPA and pretty much every single owner, NFL, so NFLPA and NFL, they basically had a secret meeting and a secret vote to basically cap players from getting all the money guaranteed up front based off of what happened with the Deshaun Watson situation. Mm-hmm. So they had this secret meeting right before Lamar Jackson was trying to get his big contract. So if you remember during that time frame, everybody is like, in my mind, I'm like, Lamar Jackson is a great quarterback. Like, he's easily in the top 5. So there's no reason why he's not getting a contract. Yeah. Absolutely, right? But there's no reason that he's not getting a contract from any NFL team. And, you know, he represented himself, which I still have so much respect for, because a lot of people can't go out and do that.
Right.
But all these teams were turning down Lamar Jackson. And I'm like, something's not right. And I think we kind of all came to the conclusion that there was some type of collusion or something happening in the background, but we couldn't like really place it. But now for this article to be coming out a few years later saying, oh yeah, they had a secret meeting, it kind of makes you go, huh? Okay, so yeah, y'all are really as shady as we thought you were, because the NFLPA Players Association is supposed to support the players and the rules and their contracts and things of that nature. If that's their HR, right? If they have issues, they should be able to go to the NFLPA and to be able to express those issues. The NFLPA usually works a lot with the NFL, and they come together on whatever agreements going into the next season. So to hear that this was a meeting conversation of we're going to make sure that players are not getting fully guaranteed contracts going forward because Deshaun Watson ruined it for the whole entire NFL is really nuts. So what are your thoughts on that? Because you just heard my frustration about it. Like, it's asinine for me to think about. And I can't believe that not only was there a meeting, it was something that was happening in the background and no one had a clue about it until now when it leaked. There's been so many coaches meetings and owner meetings and all of these things happening, and now we're finding out about it. Like, that's wild. Oh, you're mute. I can't hear you. Lexi pressed the button. I do know that she was just as equally frustrated as me. Yeah, I can't hear you. Richard will fix it. He's the OG at this. Oh, okay. So I do want to let y'all know that Lexi, me and her had a great conversation about this a little bit earlier, right before we got on here, but it definitely caught her off guard too. Because like I was saying, the NFLPA is supposed to be like your HR. You should be able to depend on them for anything that is going on, any concerns, any questions. You guys hear all the time about how teams have player only meetings, right? They have these meetings because they're trying to protect themselves, especially when it comes to rules or just whatever it is. So for them to be able to have like this type of meeting with each other, I'm not a big fan of it because I'm supposed to be leaning on you for support. So I think it's very much shady. And I think it also says that, you know, there could be other things that are going on that we as fans, media, whoever, we don't know about that could be happening in the background. And if I was a player, I would be like, so what else have y'all been talking about or gatekeeping from us this whole entire time? So that was kind of like what our conversation was and where it was going. But man, that's pretty interesting. So not a big fan of that. Anyway, until Lexi gets back, I'm going to keep this show going. So I don't know if you guys saw also, there was some breaking news in the NFL on the left tackle situation for the Bucs. So Tristan Wirfs for the Bucs, probably one of the best left tackles in the league right now. He just had to have knee surgery, which is kind of insane. And not only did he have to have knee surgery, he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. Now, I will say maybe it's great that they figured out that it's only going to be a couple of weeks and it's something that's not going to be season ending, because that can be very overwhelming, especially for the Bucs, who had a pretty decent season last year. And I mean, this is a person who is protecting Baker Mayfield. So for him to be out for a couple of weeks, it makes you kind of wonder and consider, like, what are they doing as a backup option in that left tackle position? Because he's definitely one of the heartbeats of that O-line. So hopefully we can get him back. Not we, because not a Bucs fan, but hopefully the Bucs can get him back soon and they have a great replacement for him, because that could be incredibly scary for Baker. He's kind of getting older, so he can't take too many hits going into this season. Yeah, welcome back.
Okay, great.
I'm like, yeah, welcome back. Good thing I'm a yapper and I know how to keep conversations
right. We
going.
can yap, yeah.
So give me your thoughts
What
on
were you
NFLPA, and then
Okay.
I already transitioned to the Bucs with
To the Bucs,
Tristan
okay.
Wirfs being out.
NFLPA, I think they need to be more clear about what they want going forward. I don't think you can just like allow something like that to happen with Deshaun Watson and then keep all the other players in the dark kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of other players that probably deserve that over him, to be honest with you. So if not even just that, I just think there's got to be a better way to go around about contracts overall. Like you said, like with Lamar and that same era, like it's just.
Well, my thought, I
there's gotta be
said
more
also,
transparency.
I even said too, like, it kind of makes you think, like, what else have they been not talking about with the players? Like, what else are y'all secretly talking about that they don't know about? And the NFL also talks so much about like player safety and making sure the players are safe and safety and blah, blah, blah. Like, you hear that nonstop, but it's like, okay, what's really happening back there? Because you guys put out Guardian helmets and you did all of these things, but you're also talking about how you want to have another game every single season. You want to extend the season. You're talking about how teams have early bye weeks, like week 6, but playing 18 to 19 weeks of football. So,
right.
It's a lot of cap there. And I know that there's a lot of money that the NFL just wants to make, but at the same time, like, you genuinely have to make sure you care about player safety, because otherwise.
And that's the thing is, like, I don't know that they really do, but they have to pretend like they do.
Yeah.
They have to pretend
Absolutely
like they do,
that.
right? So
absolutely that. And that's what you have people like us for. We prefer to be the voice of the players. So I'm always going to support.
We're always on the
safety.
side of the players. Right?
Yeah, always going to support player safety, coach safety, whatever, especially because of just the thing.
And like, we want players to be paid fairly, but like, if you're gonna give one guy one thing, and that might not be how you want your league to operate, right? But like,
yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
messy. It's very messy.
It's a mess. But some of these dudes are getting paid though. They are getting some ridiculous bucks. So it's like, okay, which we can get into that too about Chiefs players. But Tristan Wirfs for the Bucks, knee surgery, gonna be out for a couple of weeks. Thank God it's not season ending, because that could be a very scary situation. What are your thoughts about the Bucks and the Baker Mayfield and not having his left-hand man?
I mean, not having your left tackle is such a huge thing. That's like what we just went through. We just went through that. So we'll see what Baker can do without that.
It's going to be scary.
It's
going to be scary.
They have a tough schedule early on, and they have like the Eagles week 4. They have teams that they like. I don't know how long he's going to miss, but to not have a very good all-pro left tackle there for you is not a good thing. And I know Baker struggled with that even last season, having him healthy. So
yeah.
No, I don't know. I think that kind of opens up the NFC South a little bit. I don't know that I have a lot of faith in any of the other teams right now.
Yeah.
Now, granted, as the season goes, I'll probably feel different, like about the Falcons. I think the Saints are going to finish last. I just do, because of their quarterback situation.
I really like their new helmets, though.
Love their new helmets. Great new helmets.
Beautiful. Love the gold detail.
But I think quarterback is very unknown on the Saints. I think they have a lot of older guys. I think the Panthers are kind of a fun up-and-coming team. I think the Falcons could be fun with Michael Penix Jr. They have great offense. But
I don't really.
Bucks, I think Bucks are who.
Yeah.
I think it's the Bucks to lose. But missing your left tackle can definitely impact things. So we'll see.
They got Mike Evans back, so we'll see. He'll probably have another 1,000-yard season, because that's just what he does.
Yeah.
So a few weeks ago, sorry, we're talking about old news, but you guys saw there was a big trade between the Steelers and the Dolphins. The Steelers ended up getting Jalen Ramsey, which I think is kind of funny, because like, he is not that guy anymore. But okay, and Jonnu Smith, and the Dolphins ended up getting Minkah Fitzpatrick. He went back to the Dolphins. So I don't know what that was. But okay.
It was a trade where literally no one moved. No one moved.
Like, it was
no one moved.
Now
I want to say this. I actually understood it more if you kept Minkah, acquired Jalen, and then acquired Jonnu, and then gave the Dolphins whatever picks. But you just gave them your best.
It was a even exchange.
Your best defensive back in Minkah Fitzpatrick, and then Jonnu Smith, who's only had one proven season. And I think Jonnu Smith really likes Arthur Smith, who's the offensive coordinator on the Steelers. Yeah. They love each other. Whatever. That's a marriage.
Which is not great. So okay.
So the Steelers do have a lot of good tight ends. They have a good tight end room. They have Pat Freiermuth.
The Steelers should be the Steelers have really ramped up this offseason, and they have brought a lot of key pieces in to where they should be successful. But if you understand Mike Tomlin, they're going to be 9-8. So it doesn't matter how many pieces they add to their team. They're not coming out of that division.
They're not winning the division.
They're not coming out of that division. No. Like, they're not even getting a wild card. So
I think they could get a wild card, but
I don't.
Being generous.
I don't think they get a wild card. I think the AFC West would have more teams coming out than that division.
If the Steelers were in the AFC West, they wouldn't stand a chance.
No, they would.
They haven't paid TJ Watt. There's a chance he could that could be a whole mess.
But he also can't stay healthy.
You have Aaron Rodgers, and we have no idea what this is going to look like for him because
DK Metcalf.
Listen, Aaron Rodgers,
Metcalf, whatever that's about.
Yeah.
Okay, it's very random. So
you got rid of George Pickens. It's a mess over there. I don't know.
It feels like this is their last cry for help for Mike Tomlin.
Right.
They're like, we're going to give you as many pieces as you think you need.
They're trying to go all in, but no.
They're doing a terrible job. But it feels like, you know what, Mike Tomlin, let's give you all these new pieces. And if you can't come out of this division winning it, then you might not have a job next year, which I'm sure he's fine with because it would not be hard for Mike Tomlin to get another job. No, I don't know what the Steelers are doing. I'm very confused about it. It's going to be very interesting to watch because what the heck is happening? But I have no faith.
I look forward to watching them, but then I know I'm going to be disappointed by week 4.
So while we're talking about the Dolphins are equally as confusing. So I don't know what's happening down in Miami.
Oh my God. Terrible.
They're clearly desperate for a tight end, right? And guess what they did? They went out and signed Darren Waller, who I thought retired.
He did.
Because his wife left him. Shout out to Kelsey Plum, Los Angeles Sparks, who's been going crazy out there.
And definitely fumbled that.
Clearly. But
there's so much.
It's giving. I don't know what's going on with Darren Waller, but the Dolphins think that that's a good idea. So okay, it's a terrible idea.
Imagine that's a good idea in any shape or form.
The
Dolphins,
terrible idea.
They're so unserious. You trade away your good tight end that just had a great season for you. You trade away a very good defensive back in Jalen Ramsey. You can say
Tyreek Hill said last year he doesn't even want to be on this team.
Like
Tyreek just said that. He's like, I don't want to be here. And now he's like, no, I never said that.
The reason Darren Waller retired was he said he was in a game with the Giants where he was leading off as the blocker on so many drives in this one game. You're a tight end, dude. That's your job. That's half your job is to block.
It's your job. I'm sorry.
You had to block. What do you mean you're mad that you had to block?
You probably did it when you were with the Raiders. What are we talking about here?
So we have a non-team player that went into retirement because he doesn't like football and wanted to be a rapper.
And he's bad.
And we're expecting him to come back after a season off and be better. I think
he's not a good rapper either, guys.
I think he's probably broke and needs money.
Brokey. Because his ex-wife got a bag. So yeah.
Fumbled his insane ex-wife and I mean insane in a good way because Kelsey Plum is amazing, but what are you doing? What are you doing?
Dog. Yeah, he's an idiot. Well, he cheated on her. So anyway, I wish you the best of luck, Darren Waller.
I mean, regardless, it's the weirdest signing of all offseason.
Anyway, on a positive note, the Hall of Fame game is coming up very soon, which I did not realize how soon it was coming up, but it's coming up very soon. It's very, very soon. So the Hall of Fame game is on July 31st. Yeah, it's coming up really fast. July 31st in Canton, Ohio at 7 p.m. It is the Lions versus the Chargers. And I cannot actually remember who is getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. And that's my bad. But somebody on each team is going into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And I can't remember. It's my bad. I can't remember.
I
But
don't either.
anyway, so we do have NFL coming up very soon. Both teams will have 90 plus players on their roster, and none of the starters are going to play. But hey, it's NFL, it's football. So that'll be your little bit of bait to hold you over until we get into regular season in a few days. So Chiefs updates. Lexi already said it, we're 13 days away from training camp, which I can't really believe that training camp is coming this fast. And as a season ticket holder who should have bought my training camp tickets a long time ago, I have not done that yet, and I forgot. But I kind of want to get into something spicy real quick. So we're going to talk about Trey Smith, but I want to talk about Trent McDuffie first. So I don't know if y'all follow him on Instagram, but last night, me and Lexi were, for some reason, up late creeping on Instagram. It was mainly me sending her screenshots. So Trent McDuffie is currently in Mexico, and he posted a photo of dinner and he tagged his agent. So I'm like, okay, agents only travel for like great reasons, because I know he's just not vacationing with his agent. Like, what? That would be weird. Now, It could be something about like NCAA 26 coming out, blah, 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 college football game, but I doubt it. So I was like, oh, do I need to set my Brett Veach alarm for like 7 a.m. this morning in case something maybe comes out that a contract is done? But I set my alarm and there was no contract and no breaking news this morning.
Nothing.
But I am very interested to see why is Trent McDuffie in Mexico with his agent having a great time. Like, are we getting close?
Hopefully that means there's a deal on the horizon, right?
Which we not. So him and Trey Smith, both of them should be done.
Yeah,
they should both hopefully be done before week 1, right? The goal is to get Trey done in the next few days, and then Trent probably before the season starts, because he's not technically due till next year.
Right. So
you gotta get it headed, right?
Trent to me is like, you don't have to get it done this offseason, but you should.
But you should.
You should. Yeah. So it's like Creed Humphrey to me last offseason. You get that done because you need that guy on your team and you secure that. So
you need to absolutely get Trent McDuffie done now, because we're not going to be able to afford him next season.
The pressure of the timing isn't as much as it is with Trey Smith. So you can get Trent McDuffie done. You can do it the day before the NFL season kicks off. I mean, you can do that
like we did Noah Gray.
Exactly.
In the tailgate parking.
Noah Gray. Yeah,
we were all tailgating and was like, oh, no, Noah Gray just got paid. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So that's what I hope what happens with McDuffie. With Trey Smith, he's got to get his contract done by July 15th, which is in a week.
Yep, few days.
And the overall consensus throughout Chiefs media, all that good stuff, is that he is going to be playing on his tag this next season, unless a miracle happens and one of the sides caves. I guess there's rumors that Trey Smith is kind of wanting to break the market.
He should.
I don't blame him for anything. He's been fantastic. He is a mover and shaker in this offense, on this offensive line. He and Creed, I can't explain how much I would hate to separate them, because they came in the league together. They are best friends. They are just the dynamic duo on our interior offensive line. I think Trey Smith is worth the money. That's why we traded away Joe Tooney to the Bears. I think you get him paid this offseason, because chances are he stays healthy all season, and then his price goes up even more next offseason. And then you're kind of in that situation again. Did we score?
Jack 2-run home run. Jack Caglione 2-run home run.
Sorry,
I fully agree.
We're Kansas City sports fans, but
I think you have to get Trey done now. And I honestly think, I don't think the number is the problem. Let me be clear. I don't think the dollar. I don't think the dollar is the problem. I think it's years. I think Trey Smith probably wants 5 years. I think the Chiefs probably want 4 years, but it's all coming down also to like what that guaranteed money is going to be, because the GTD debates on if he resets the market or not, how much money is he actually getting. So, I mean, even if, and Brett Veach is one of the best when it comes to like creating contracts for players. So it can even be a matter of like, you get this in a bonus, or you get this if we get to the Super Bowl, or you get this if we go to the playoffs, and they can always figure out what that is especially in the long term. And they can even get to a point to where it's year 3 or it's year 4 and you're renegotiating and putting him into another contract. I do think he absolutely wants to retire a Chief. Do I think he wants to get paid, though? Absolutely. Are there teams out there that will give him the money? 1,000% they will. But if the Chiefs weren't close, I don't think he would be at minicamp. I don't think he would be at the OTAs. I don't think he would come and participate in all of those things. I think if the Chiefs were further apart, he would sit out. Because why even put yourself in a situation where you could be injured, especially if you have a new left guard?
Well, did you see those like quote unquote first day of school pictures that the Chiefs put out from minicamp and their media day?
Yeah, he said his favorite thing to do is like eat food.
Okay, but his goal, so most of their goals, right? Of course, but
I was like, food. Great answer, Trey.
Great answer. But most of their goals were to
win a Super Bowl.
Trey Smith's goal. Now, I don't fault him for this. I'm just going to say that. His goal was to stay healthy, which I think leads into probably playing on his franchise tag, staying healthy and getting paid next offseason.
Or not playing and staying healthy.
No, he's going to play. He's not going to. He's definitely playing.
I'm telling you right now, Jodi Newsome, right guard, am not playing without a contract in a contract year.
He's going to be paid $23 million to play on the tag.
Absolutely, which is the top of the market technically.
If
you're looking at,
I think he is. I think he'll play. You don't have to think that. I think he will.
I don't think he will. I think $23 million is a lot of money, and
he's
that's
not going to sit out all season, though. I can't see that.
No, Chris Jones didn't have to.
Right.
He sat out one game. He sat out one game.
But he sat out all off season. He sat out mini camp, training camp.
He's not going to get a Chris Jones type of deal.
No, he's not. So I think Trey doesn't have Trey is fantastic, but he doesn't have the leverage that Chris Jones had when he did that. So I don't think he'll be missing a game.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people in the league who know who Trey Smith is and what he's done for this team. Why would you not want a Super Bowl champion who's been helping to protect Patrick Mahomes
he's amazing.
for the last however many years?
He's our run guy.
It's not like he's coming from like a scrub team. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not. I think he does have a lot more leverage than people think. I just think they're way closer than the Chiefs were with Chris Jones. I think the Chiefs and Chris Jones were way apart. And I think Trey and the Chiefs are closer. But that's why I say it could also be a situation where maybe they get Trent done. That maybe frees up a little bit more money, so then they could possibly give that money to Trey. But I don't know. $23 million is a lot of money, and that's really like the top of the market right now anyway. Even if they did like a 5-year 23,
regardless,
5-year 23, 5-year 24, but you play 1 year on a franchise tag. What can happen what if he gets hurt this season?
That's the
then
thing.
He got 1 year at the top of the
for
money.
Me, it's like that's why it makes so much sense for both sides for him to sign this offseason, sign a contract. But
they definitely need to figure it out.
No, I don't know. Yeah, because if you can't stay healthy and then you don't have a contract, then what?
And then what? If you don't stay healthy and you pay Trent McDuffie, and then you start going down the line of the other players who need to start getting paid for their 5th year, no, they can't wait till next year.
The thing is like if Trey isn't done this offseason, he's now bunched into our 2022 class, who everyone adores because that's our dynasty.
He won't be a Chief next year.
I mean, our 2022 class, you have George Karlaftis, you have Trent McDuffie, you have Jalen Watson, you have Brian Cook, you have Joshua Williams, you have Isaiah
Trey
Pacheco.
Smith won't be.
Leo Chanel.
I don't think Joshua Williams will be back. But
Leo Chanel, I mean, you have so many guys to pay next offseason that's
why you have to get it done now.
You have to
get it done now. And so if you don't, he probably will. put it this way. If they don't get Trey done this
Yeah.
year and they wait till next year, a lot of your favorite Chiefs players, Chiefs Kingdom, are not going to be on this team.
Right.
So don't, especially
like-
if they get a ring. If this Chiefs team this year goes
I
to the Super
know.
Bowl and wins, good luck.
It's gonna be.
You're not going to see half of these players next year. Half
Yeah.
of them. You may
Right.
see 2 of them come back. So, because a lot of them will be 3-time champions. You know what I mean? So yeah, they got to figure this out. And the market just goes up every single year. So that 23 number that we're looking at right now is going to be even higher next year, especially with all of the TV endorsements and everything else that is coming into play, because that's what helps raise the market. Netflix alone last year made so much money for the NFL, and that was able to pretty much boost the salaries up for every single NFL franchise. And that's happening again this year. So
Trey Smith
and we're
is about
going
be
to
in
Brazil.
Trey Smith is about to be in the State Farm commercials with Patrick next year.
Hey,
So.
listen, okay.
So all that to say is I hope we get this figured out. If not, it might be his last season. I don't know with us, but
I don't put anything past
Please.
Brett Beach. I
No,
don't
no.
put, remember when they traded Tyreek Hill? So I don't put anything past.
well, that's what we did with Joe Tooney. That was our big. I think that was our big trade. but,
Absolutely. And then I think everybody thought
yeah.
that it would be locked in by now, and it is not.
and it's just we've already said it, but it's very reminiscent of Chris Jones. But anyway, we can move on from that for now. We'll see what happens. We have July 15th, which we'll know. We will know by next Wednesday if Trey Smith is signed or not.
I think they got the number. I think it's the years. I don't think it's the number. I think they know the dollars.
Yeah.
I think they got the dollars figured out. It's the years. So
We'll
we'll
just
see.
see. Yeah.
And it could be Trey McDuffie. Like, it could be Trey McDuffie. Who
It
freaking
could.
knows? Who
It
freaking
could.
knows? We are supposed to rank every single AFC West team, all of the position groups. I don't think we're gonna do that today.
Oh, we're not going to do
But
that.
I do want to do some of the areas. I think we're gonna probably do quarterback, wide receiver, tight end room today.
We can do running
We're
back.
gonna
Get through those.
Yeah,
Maybe.
okay.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, okay. Okay, let's
can-
go ahead and jump into it.
I
So
can go
what
quick
we are
quarterback.
what we're doing with y'all today, we wanted to kind of rank the AFC West, their offensive rooms. And we're gonna fly through this pretty fast because we got things to do. But I think
Life is lifing right now.
the most fun topic, which we're gonna get into like top 10 quarterbacks with y'all eventually, but when we look at the quarterback rooms, the AFC West has just been very interesting for the last few years. You got Patrick Mahomes, you got Justin Herbert, you got Bo Nix, and you have brand new Geno Smith, who is coming to the division. And Geno Smith, I would just like to say that I have very high expectations for him last year, and he disappointed me. So I'm not really sure what that is going to be like with him being on this Raiders offense this season with their also brand new head coach, Pete Carroll. And it's just a completely brand new system. But when you look at the AFC West and you look at the quarterbacks and you have to rank them, how do you rank your 1 through 4? I know my idea, of course, Patrick Mahomes at number 1 because nobody else has Super Bowls. But when it comes to 2, 3, and 4, how do you rank the remainder of the 3 quarterbacks?
Well, even regardless of the Super Bowls, I have Mahomes as 1, but then it's Herbert. But I've said this so many times throughout the years. Herbert is a great regular season quarterback, but when it comes to the postseason, he is horrible. He's horrible. He throws interceptions like they're just candy. Like they're
regular season
throwing out cookies. Like he threw how many in the Jacksonville game a few years ago, and then last season he played the Texans and he threw 4. I mean, Justin Herbert's a great regular season quarterback. He doesn't have the clutch, but I do think he has the arm talent right now to be 2 in the division. So Mahomes, Herbert, Nix, I don't know if he's going to hit that sophomore slump. I wasn't even sold on him last season, but impressed me more than I thought it was going to be, I guess. He definitely surpassed my expectations last season, so I will give Bo Nix that. But Gino's more seasoned. I'm very torn between them. I'm going to maybe give the edge to Gino. And I'm Bo fourth. Ooh, I don't know. That's a hot take.
So
But I think
go.
that's only if Bo slumps. If Bo doesn't slump, I give him third. But if he slumps, Gino's third.
So I go Patrick, Justin, Bo Nix, Gino. And I just think, and the way that I'm ranking is basically going into this next season, not necessarily career.
Yeah.
So I think year two, the Broncos offense is crazy this season. So the receivers they got, like their offense is good and their defense is even better. So their defense is going to continue to get Bo Nix the ball. So even if he throws an interception, or messes up or does anything of that nature, they get a fumble, whatever, their defense is going to get Bo Nix the ball back. Geno Smith can throw a pick, and I mean, they do have a great defense, but I think the Broncos defense is going to be way better this season. I also mainly think Bo Nix is going to be better than Geno Smith because this will be his second year in the system. So he definitely has a better idea of what he is getting into for this year versus Geno Smith. This is his first time even in the AFC West. This ain't the NFC South. This ain't anywhere else. This whole entire division is tough. And I don't think necessarily that Geno will be able to beat a Justin Herbert. I don't know if he can outsmart, Sean Payton. So
I understand like getting the starting job for the Raiders. And I know that like he and Seattle's time was pretty much up. Whatever. But I don't really get the desire in coming to the AFC West because it's a really hard division. You have two really proven great quarterbacks, obviously Mahomes, and then you have Justin Herbert, who's a fantastic quarterback. Then you have Andy Reid, you have Harbaugh.
So you thought Geno Smith had like a ton of options?
I don't know what he had. No,
I don't think he had a ton of options.
I think he had a few, but like coming to the Raiders, I mean, you're coming to a division that you're probably going to be last regardless.
Yeah.
I know we've already been through this in the past few weeks, but I don't see the Raiders. I think they'll be competitive. I think they'll be better than people think. Kind of like the Browns were a few years ago type thing, but
no,
I mean, the last time the Chiefs faced Pete Carroll and Geno Smith was on Christmas Eve a few years ago, and we beat them 24-10.
Yeah.
So I just
that's why I have him at 4 in this division.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't
Bo
think
Nix could hit that slump and kind of make it interesting.
Last season was the season that I expected Geno to really kind of kick it into that year, and he did not. So if he couldn't do it there, he's not doing it in the AFC.
And that's the thing is like he had weapons in Seattle. They did not have a bad team.
He's not doing it here. So it's definitely not happening. So and I really like what I saw out of Bo Nix at the end of the year. And that very last game against us, not very last game, but the game that they had against us where it was pretty much a shootout in Denver and he was battling. If you can battle like that against Patrick Mahomes, then that kind of gives me a little bit of respect for you, especially in that type of like hostile environment. So that's why I put Geno at 4. So let's go ahead and get into receiver rooms now. So when you look at the receiver rooms, we kind of know like what the Chiefs have. You've heard the names several times, right? Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown. The list goes on and on. We just got the rookie Royals, who I think is going to be phenomenal. Not diving in much to the Chiefs, but when you look at teams like the Chargers, who have Ladd McConkey, they got Quentin Johnson, Mike Williams should be back after all of his injuries last season. The Broncos, they really only got like Courtland Sutton when you kind of think of it. And I genuinely don't know that rookie's name for the Raiders last year who was cooking everybody.
Brock Bowers. He was tight end though.
No, they had a receiver last season that was cooking everybody. And I can't think of his name. He was a rookie last year, and I can't think of his name right now.
Hold on, I gotta look up.
When you
Because actually, the Broncos had Troy Franklin,
oh yeah, they did draft him.
who
Mhm.
actually was pretty good. And then they have
draft him,
the Broncos have some underrated guys that I think could be pretty decent for them this year. They're not going to be like household names by any means, but I think they'll be decent, like playmakers, right? So
When I look at the wide receiver cores for all four of these teams, the way that I rank them, I go Chiefs at 1, just because it's giving
okay.
lesion. It's giving like, what are you about to say?
Just about the Broncos. Go on.
Oh, it's giving. We're A, incredibly fast. B, all of these guys, it's their second or third year in the system, so they're feeling a lot better. They understand the playbook. So I put the Chiefs at 1. I actually put the Chargers at 2, just because they got some really good guys over there who are also in the system, understand the system. That was their first year with the new head coach. This will be their second year with the head coach.
I think the Chargers too, like what I've seen from their fans is I think they drafted some good underrated wide receivers this year. So we'll see how they pan out. We don't know until the season starts. But I do think they have some underrated guys that could be like decent for them. So
I go
for what that's worth.
I go Broncos at 3 and then Raiders at 4.
And
So
I want to give credit
where I go for my receivers.
What's his name? Why am I blanking on his name now?
What team?
Raiders wide receiver Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers had a 0% drop rate last season. 0% with a terrible quarterback situation. Terrible quarterback.
No, they just couldn't win games.
Terrible quarterback. Like
just couldn't win games.
Credit
He
to
would be
Jacoby
great anywhere
Myers,
else.
but I still think that whole room I don't trust as a whole.
And not only the room, but I'm gonna pair the quarterback with it. So
because the quarterback
Raiders
elevates players
are
around them. So
the Raiders are the only team that have a brand new quarterback.
Yeah.
Who has to learn how to learn the system and acclimate to all of these cores, right? So I think the Chiefs definitely have the most depth. And then if I had to go next, I would say the Chargers have the next depth too. And I think that when you're like in this league nowadays, which I remember, if you think back, remember when teams only had like those 1 or 2 wide receivers that were good and that was it, and then you just kind of played with them, and most teams always had like that power back.
You have like,
you know what I mean? It's not like that anymore. The league has sped up so much since then.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to have that depth at quarterback. I mean, at wide receiver, even to a fact to where we're like, yo, are we taking 6 or 7 receivers this year? Like, that conversation is something that has been new, and that's because of evolution, because of technology, and just so many things that make the game so much better. So you see a lot of teams now trying to add that depth and getting those players there. And I think the Chargers have started to do a really good job with that. But I think that speaks a lot to their head coach, because the way he ran that Michigan team was pretty similar to what he's doing with them now. So that's how I look at that. So I do and I also have the Chargers. I can't remember what their record was, but I have them being the other wild card in the division over the Broncos. So, I mean, I think the Chargers are going to have a really good season. I think they're going to be second in the division, even though everybody thinks they're going to be first in the division. But, you know,
tis the off season.
Another off season, another year of the Chargers winning the AFC West.
Right, and Harbaugh is great, and he's going to elevate them. But I'm just not fully bought in on them. I don't know what it is.
Better than us? Nobody. You know what they say?
Lots of buddies. Yeah.
Who's better than
Who's
us?
got it better than us? Nobody. Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of people. Okay.
Real cute.
Yeah.
Anyway, so when we get into the tight end rooms, right? So, of course, we know who's with the Chiefs. Travis Kelce, Noah Gray, Jared Wiley. So many just like...
So wait, are we giving us the edge on every room?
No.
far.
Yes, so far. Yes, so far.
Quarterback, wide receiver, and tight end. Yeah.
And I don't even think I'm being like a homer, because
No, I genuinely.
I have
rank
no
it this
problem
way.
with talking
Yeah.
about the Chiefs and their opportunities.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at the Raiders, they got Brock Bowers, who is
Tight end room.
insane. Like, he's a monster.
They're second for sure.
Jesus Christ. And then you look at the Chargers, Gerald Everett, who, okay.
Yeah.
He was all right. Like,
He's
he
not bad.
wasn't nothing spectacular. And then when you look at the Broncos, they have Greg Dulcich,
Dulcich, whatever.
Dulcich.
Yeah, something like that.
Not impressive. So when you sit down
No.
and kind of look at the tight end rooms, I will say,
wait. Broncos got Evan Ingram.
oh, did they get him this year?
They did. So they
Oh.
actually might be second for me.
That's
No.
No, they're definitely not.
Third.
Brock Bowers alone.
Sorry,
is like
sorry.
a dog.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Sorry,
nah,
third.
you don't mean that.
No, I
Brock
didn't mean
Bowers
that.
alone will ruin a team's day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no.
So actually, I think it's Chiefs because you have Travis Kelce, you have Noah Gray, you have a great tight end room over there.
I think like about the tight end room specifically going into this year, I think people also kind of need to realize that like Noah Gray is going to be tight end 1 and Travis Kelce is going to be tight end 2 this year.
I don't know.
Travis
I don't know that I agree
have
with
over
that.
1,000. He's not going to have over 1,000 yards this season. If y'all want Travis Kelce to play one more year, he cannot have 1,000 yards. If
I don't know that I think
Kelce-
he's going to have 1,000 yards, but I don't know that Patrick's.
If
I don't see him.
leans on Travis Kelce this year, then that means the wide receiver room went to shit.
No, and I don't think that's the case, but I don't think Noah Gray is going to outdo Travis until Travis is gone. Because I just think Travis is Patrick's comfort blanket. Like,
Yeah, he needs to get out of that if he wants to continue.
and
to
maybe he
have
can do that this
longevity.
season. Like, we'll see for sure.
Well,
but-
it should have been last year, but Rashee Rice got hurt.
Yeah,
Rashee Rice is healthy this
That was
year.
a whole
right?
mess. Hollywood was hurt. Rashi, I mean, they were
So
all
it
hurt, so.
should have been the number one
Yeah.
receiver when
Yeah.
you include the tight end room. Should have been Rashee Rice last year. If Travis Kelce has an incredible season this year, then that means something went incredibly wrong.
No, I don't think that though. I
100%.
I think him having an incredible season doesn't have anything to do with us having a bad season overall. I think
when I say incredible, I mean if he has over 1,000 yards and he's leading.
But I think that's
out
then you
of
got to give him
everybody.
credit. I think you got to give him credit there. If he can get over 1,000 yards at his age,
he retires this year.
right? Like I think that's going out on a high note. Then, and I don't think that's any.
Y'all
discredit
say
to the
that
rest of the
now,
offense,
but y'all also want Travis Kelce to play football next year for this team.
Right. So
it's like, do y'all want him to continue to play for like another 2 to 3 years, or do y'all want this to be
and
his
for
retirement
that,
year?
no, okay. I'm not like disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I think the way Patrick relies on him, I don't think is going to be a huge change until he retires. That's how I feel.
So in my mind, if Patrick has to lean on him that way, then we should not expect Super Bowls going forward. If Patrick has to rely on Travis,
I
don't.
disagree, but I think that's because
I don't at all.
But I
because
think that's because
what
he doesn't.
receiver is going to step up and be as reliable as Travis
But
Kelce?
I'm only saying that in the tight end room. I'm not saying that for the receivers. I think overall, the receivers are going to be his reliable point. I think it's Rashee Rice. I think it's Xavier Worthy. I think it's freaking Juju. I think because Patrick really loves Juju. They have a really good connection.
But Juju doesn't play nearly as many snaps as Travis Kelce.
No, not at all. But
And
I
he's
think you're
definitely
going
not gonna
to
play
you're
more
going to
than-
get those differences in the wide receiver room as long as everyone's healthy. So I think if Rashee stays healthy, if Xavier stays healthy, if Hollywood stays healthy, I think you're going to have so much more reliance, and that's exactly what we wanted to do last season. Was rely on the wide receiver room and not rely on Travis Kelce.
So at your point that you just said, if Patrick is relying on Rashee, Hollywood, and Xavier Worthy, and not even Juju, not even Noah. If he's
Not
relying
even
on
any of those other
people,
guys.
if he's relying on those 3 people solely, there's no way Travis Kelce is going to have 1,000.
No, and I don't think he needs to.
But if he does, that means
something else went wrong. Yeah,
exactly. That is my point. So if Travis has that many yards, that means something did not go right in the receiver room.
Yeah,
and we brought Hollywood Brown back because we expect him to go all out.
Go have like 700 or 800 yards. Yeah,
he's trying to go get a contract himself,
right?
Going forward, right? So like if those 3 dudes can't be who Patrick needs to be reliable, and if Travis Kelce has to go, let me put on my Superman cape and save this game, there's a problem. And I think that is what people need to realize. Like,
I get that.
Travis should be able to just come in on 2nd and 3rd down, get the 1st down, and keep the chains moving. That is it. We should not see him for every snap. If we
be a reliable target here and there,
that is it. Like, we need him in the regular season to be as light as possible, because in the playoffs, he's probably going to go off.
We need
him in the playoffs. That's usually where you see Travis pick all his snaps up, and he's playing most of the game, and he's always.
I think he still will go crazy, but
and that's when he needs to go crazy. He does not need. We don't need him to ball out completely in the regular season.
And I think
we need to preserve his body as long as we possibly can.
I think that was. And we all know this. That was such a big problem during last regular season. Was we needed him to? I just keep thinking of like week, God, what was it, like 14 versus the Panthers, where we knew, you and I, and we had Sheena on our show, and we knew this was going to be a hard game. But it's like those games that these guys, they just looked so bored. They looked uninspired. Those types of things, and you needed guys like that to come through, and it just wasn't, nothing was clicking. It just wasn't like,
and I think that was because they were worn out. They had an early bye. They had an early bye week. They played another 7 games since then, and the amount of work that Travis put in from the bye week to that game, with all your receivers being out, you didn't have a running back at that point either.
Right.
Like, yeah, he was probably exhausted. Like, I've been doing this for 10 years. Like, my body is
12. Yeah.
So, if me personally, I don't care what people say. If Travis Kelce plays that much football this year, this team is a wreck. So,
right. And it should be Rashi leading in yards, like you said. So,
and we
barring any suspensions, injuries, that kind of thing, it should be Rashi. I know we all saw the trust he built up with Xavier last year, especially towards the end. Like, I'm so looking forward to seeing that connection growing. I think Hollywood Brown,
Kareem Hunt, the running back room this year.
Oh my gosh, to have a full off season with us, it's going to be beautiful. So, couldn't agree more.
There should be, because I personally want to see Travis for another 2 or 3 years. So if that means he only has 700 yards this season, bless.
Right.
Bless.
Right.
Sign me up for that.
We need everyone else doing
all
their
that
jobs
weight on the young guys, right?
Yeah.
So besides that, I go Raiders, Chargers, Broncos when it comes to the tight end room.
I agree.
Brock Bowers is really freaking good.
I would put Chargers at the bottom and put Broncos 3rd there.
Okay. I go the reverse. But Brock Bowers, I remember when he got drafted, and I was like, please don't go to the AFC West. Please don't go to the AFC West.
I know. God dang.
Damn the Broncos.
And then
damn the Raiders. I was so mad.
They freaking get Brock Bowers and then Genty the next. God dang. So the Raiders are going to be, they're going to be not that great, but they're going to be a pain in the ass.
And I feel like that has been the history of the Raiders.
Yes. Yeah.
They know how to like pick and choose to disrupt your game, to make Max Crosby says all the time his goal is to make Patrick angry. Like, I want him on the ground. I want to hurt him.
It really
he says it all the time. So
if I'm just going to be like totally honest, it really pisses me off that Tom Brady became a part owner of a team in the AFC West, because you know why he's doing it. You know why he's doing it. And it makes me
got to keep getting more rings than Patrick, which he's not.
Oh, it makes me mad.
which he's not gonna do. But I mean, why not get a brand new shiny stadium in a fun city where he's with models all the time?
Sure,
doing
whatever.
whatever, doing whatever,
Whatever,
the
Tom. Whatever.
yeah, Tom. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Offensive. Running backs. Did we talk about running backs?
No. Running
Running
backs.
backs. I'm like, wait, did we talk about running backs at all? So when we look at the different running back rooms, again, we talked about this kind of in the draft. This year felt like the year that everybody went out and they loaded up on running back. Like
Running backs regained their value last season.
God bless Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry. What's the other one? Josh Jacobs, which his season was tough, but he got paid.
Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery.
God bless America.
Room, Bijan Robinson. I mean, there's so many good.
Yes.
So many good running backs.
And I think the one thing that we also learned from last season was you got to have kind of like a dynamic duo. Like you got to have like a 1-2 punch when it comes to running back. I think the Lions did the best job of that last season. And a lot of teams are trying to like imitate that, which I think is very smart. Like I love that. So I think that's the one thing that we learned. And this off season, this draft, everybody went out and got all kind of dogs on their team. So when we sit down and talk about the running back rooms for the AFC West, I actually didn't rank this.
Well, two of them took running backs in the first round. So we have Omarion Hampton to the Chargers, and then you have Ashton Genty, pick 7 to the Raiders.
I was so angry at Ashton.
Oh my God. It sucks. I did not want either of those guys in our division. So yeah.
I didn't rank this, so I'm going to just kind of freestyle this rank right now. God bless. When I look at the AFC West,
do you want to hear mine?
Yeah.
All right. I actually have, because now
I think I got
depends how it plays out.
Yeah.
I have Chargers 1 because they have Hampton and they got Najee Harris. I have, it depends how he does in the NFL, but I have Raiders 2 because I think Genty is going to be that good. I don't think their depth,
absolutely.
I don't think their depth
is
is that great,
freaking good.
But yeah, I don't think their depth is great, but I think Genty's carries them to the 2 spot. I think you could rank Broncos and Chiefs however you want. Broncos did get J.K. Dobbins, which might have elevated them a little. They did draft a running back as well. So did we. I think you can kind of go either way on Broncos and Chiefs at 3.
Yeah.
But I do think it'll be Chargers, Raiders, and then Broncos, Chiefs somewhere in there.
I think Raiders at 1. Because Ashton Genty.
I only don't have them there because he's a rookie. That's the only reason. But if he balls out, then yeah.
And I think he will. I think they're going to rely.
He has no reason not to.
Game.
He has no reason not to. So.
Who was the running back?
And then the Pete Carroll offense. He probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. Like, I'm thinking back to like the Marshawn days. Like, I'm thinking back to that under Pete Carroll offense.
Right.
And he was so good.
Oh, he was phenomenal.
So that's why I think Pete Carroll will be able to cook with him. Because they're probably going to rely on that run game a lot.
Yeah.
Because their receivers are in. I'm probably going to go Raiders at 1 here. Probably going Broncos at 2.
Broncos?
Didn't they just sign who was the rookie they just got? Didn't they just get
hold on.
They just got sorry, I'm not looking because I didn't rank it. So I'm going off the top of my head.
Oh, they got RJ Harvey, right?
Yeah.
He's good.
He's good. Maybe I'm not going Broncos at 2. This is why I needed to prepare. Okay, I'm probably gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna go Raiders at 1, Chiefs at 2. I'm probably gonna go Chargers at 3, Broncos at 4.
I have us at 2.
I have us at 2 because I really like
I don't have us that high.
I really like a healthy Isaiah Pacheco and
Love.
Kareem Hunt here back
I do
for the whole
think-
full off season.
Yeah.
Because
do
we
think-
rushed Pacheco back last season.
Right.
He should not have came back, but
Right.
he's healthy. And I think
Yeah.
he's ready. If we can get year 2, year 3 Isaiah Pacheco,
Right.
then I'm very happy. And I think he might be back to that.
And he's on a contract year this season. So I do think he's going to do everything in his power to get that
To get
1,000
paid.
yards. What's so insane to me is we've never had a 1,000-yard running back under Patrick Mahomes ever.
No, we haven't.
So
Because he likes
get
throwing the ball.
That'd be amazing. Yeah.
It's because he likes throwing the ball. But even with both of them, I don't think that, like, I don't think we're still going to see like a 1,000-yard season because I definitely think they're going to rotate them both.
Plus,
evenly.
like Elijah Mitchell, if he pans out the way I think he could.
Ugh.
Plus Rashard Smith, if he pans out the way he could.
that
It could be. I don't hate our running back room. I like it. I just depends how it.
Are we keeping 3? Are we
I
taking
don't
4
know.
running backs? Like,
I
are we
can't
taking
even talk
4
about that
running?
until after training or well
we're
into
taking-
training camp. I
If
can't.
we're
think
taking
about
4 running backs, that means we're taking 6 receivers. So it's like,
it. And
what
Patrick
are
said
we-
himself, he's like, we
what
could
are we
keep
doing?
9 receivers right now.
oh,
Like,
God bless America. And I mean,
Oh.
it could even be a situation where we keep 3. Like, I think our room is pretty decent. That's why I have them at 2. So I think there's a lot of like good depth there and a lot of like good rotation there. I think, yeah. So that's where I'm going to stick there.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, but the Raiders are going to be very interesting. So
I'm
yeah.
I'm just excited for football to start. I'm excited to see how this division goes, how everyone plays, how everyone does in their new systems. And
I can't wait till our defense. I'm ready to watch our defense because
I'm ready to watch our
lot of
defense
offenses
yeah.
have stacked up against us.
Yeah,
So
they're trying hard.
they're going to get worn down every single week.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how that goes. Offensive line. If we rank the offensive lines in the AFC West. Okay, so I don't have the Chiefs at 1 or 2. I'm gonna just start that.
I know. No,
I don't have them at 1 or 2. And I think the only reason why is because there's just so much uncertainty there. And we don't know what's happening with our offensive line. And
No, we don't.
we're probably
It's
still
gonna
not
take
even going to know it until like August once they're in full pads at training
Honestly,
camp.
I don't think we know
So-
our offensive line till like, or how we feel about it until like October.
No, we better know before week 1. Oh, how we feel about it or what it's going to
Yeah,
look like?
the success.
I'm talking
of
about
them,
what it's
like,
going to look like.
I think
Okay.
well, yeah, we'll know what
Yeah,
it looks
I'm
like
like,
by
no, no,
training.
no.
Yeah, by preseason for sure. But I think we're not going to have a good feel of like how good they are. I think we have an idea of how good they can be. But
We
it
don't
just
even
depends
know
how
who-
certain people pan out. So
We don't even know who's playing left tackle. And I don't know how I feel about Kingsley right now.
hopefully Simmons will be playing
Hard.
left tackle. But yeah, I have.
And
I
have my
actually am
offense.
gonna say I have Broncos at 1 right now for offense.
I have the Chargers at 1.
Okay, so I'm gonna switch and
Oh
say
my God, the
Chargers at
Chargers, yeah.
2.
And I have the Broncos at 2.
And
So yeah.
then the same thing with the
And then it goes Chiefs Raiders for me.
yeah. But Raiders, they have a good
We're just young, which I guess doesn't mean anything. I think for
No.
me, it's learning Pete Carroll's system.
I'll give the
He's
edge
a
to-
new running
I'll-
back. Like,
yeah.
or not
I'll give
running
the
back,
edge to the
quarterback.
Chiefs, but
And
The
that's
Raiders is
only
not
because
bad.
they're learning a new head coach. They're learning a new quarterback. Like there's
Right.
a lot of newness happening in Vegas right now. And that's the only reason I put them at 4.
yeah.
And that's even with all of the questions happening with the Chiefs offensive line. At least we got all pros on there. Even though we have no idea who's going to be where.
what's going to be happening. But we
Still
do
figure
still
that
have
out.
Creed and Trey, so we know that. Jawan Taylor's serviceable, whatever.
Jawan's going to give us a few flags. Just be ready.
But he's really not as bad as people make him out to be.
Last season was much better for him than
Yeah.
the season before.
So
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Last season was a lot better for him.
we'll see what happens on the left side there, but we're hoping Kingsley pans
I'm gonna
out
be out
in
there
the left
playing
guard.
left.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am ready to see what Kingsley looks like at left guard.
Yeah, same. I'm very, very ready to see the left
I'm
side.
more stressed out about left guard than left tackle.
Honestly.
So that's
No.
left tackle. All right, we got some options there. We can figure that out. Left guard.
I know. It's not great.
We'll see.
We'll
I know
see.
we've got a little bit of depth there with
We do have depth.
but like
Norzad, Caliendo, they're all depth, but
and we're gonna just go ahead and give the high five to Norzad in case we need him to just come in here real quick and step up and do whatever he needs to do, because Caliendo, where he can be good, he also gives me anxiety. So
and Hunter Norzad's mama messaged me the other day and said he was drafted to be Creed's backup. So I'm like, that's the center backup. So I don't know how I feel about him. I mean, he's played guard, but I just, yeah. So anyway,
Lord, how do we get Trey Smith on the left side of the line?
how do we get him paid also?
How do we just get him on the left? I know he's a right guard, okay? How do we get him on the left side? I don't know. Anyway,
I just hope
we just got to get to training camp because I just got to see.
Yeah,
I don't know.
There's a lot.
I'm stressed out about
it.
I'm stressed out about it.
There's a lot to be. What's the word I'm looking for?
You gotta hold the line long enough so Patrick can throw the ball 30 yards, guys. Like,
yeah,
the receivers got to find time to run. 30
we just need some time. We just need a little time. That's all.
A couple of more now.
5 seconds. 4 seconds.
Yeah, I just stressed myself out about it. See, we need all of these days left until the season.
This is why we have training camp and preseason.
I'm clearly not mentally ready for this. I thought I was.
We're getting there. No,
I thought I was. I'm not. Anyway, that is our ranking of our offense. Again, I definitely think the Chiefs are winning in a whole bunch of areas. And we definitely always have opportunity. I know we didn't rank like as a whole, which we can do that later, but I feel like there's always opportunity though. There's always something on our offense that every single year we're like, okay, we need to be better at this. We need to be better at this. Right. But to be fair, there's only one perfect team according to everybody, and it's the Eagles. So we just got to see what is going to happen this year. Like Lexi said, we are very close to training camp. We are 13 days away, and we are going to learn a lot.
Let things play out.
And even those first few days, guys, it's going to be just the basics. They are going to have on shorts and t-shirts. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, we're not even going to get into the real grit until at least a couple of weeks.
Another few weeks. So.
Yeah. So, but let's just get them boys back up in the St. Joe in the heat where it's hot, very hot.
Too hot.
And just kind of getting back in their element. I will say the only one thing that I am most positive about is the amount of guys returning this season who have been on this team.
Yeah.
I love that we have a lot of guys returning, and a lot of them are not brand new rookie. I mean, even Hollywood Brown. This is year 2 for him. So that's
what I really
brings me a lot of confidence when I look at this offense. Like a lot of guys who have already been in the system and they get it. So yeah. We have a lot of
oh my God. Why did they oh my God. Why is
I hear myself.
Yeah.
Anyway. What are you about to say? You about to say something?
I was just going to say, yeah, I think that's super, like, something to look forward to is having our wide receivers in a continuous contract that we haven't had in a long time. So there's no one super new except for Jalen Royals. Even Tyquan Thornton was in our offense towards the end of last season. He's one to watch in training camp. I'm just excited to see our wide receiver room play out, but I know that Worthy, Rashi, like they're all going to be right there with Patrick, Juju. I mean, it's exciting. So yeah, Hollywood, all their at least second year. So yeah,
Juju's been on this team several times now.
Some continuity, yeah. He's been
on this team several times now. So
this is like
it is what it is at that point.
This is actually Juju's 4th season with us, so that's crazy.
Yeah, love to see it. Love to see it.
I also just looked and we're now tied with the Pirates.
Yeah, I saw that. So
So
we're gonna get out of here and we're gonna get back with y'all next week. Next week we'll probably recap the defense and just hopefully there's a contract at least signed by the time we see y'all next. But shout out to hanging out with us today. Thank you for being here. I know we took 2 weeks off, but we are very happy to be back behind the microphone. If you are not, make sure you're paying attention to all the other shows that are on Arrowhead Addict. Tomorrow, the OG Hour, make sure you tap into that. And if you're not following, make sure you follow Arrowhead Addict on YouTube, on Twitter, on Spotify, on Apple, on all of the places where you can find and listen and do all of the great things. So until then, go Chiefs, and we will see you later.
yeah, bye.